a lot of good teams. Best he's ever done is come second. I think he said he's come second, third, fourth. There's only one way up, and Brad Jones just wants to win this race so badly.
From race cam, this is what happened to Alain Menu. The Renault at the top hit that curb there, bounced across the circuit, up over the ripple strip here, into the sand trap, hit hard, a lot of damage under the car.
Not hard, Gary, absolutely savage. That first wham there on the inside was just frightening, and that would have been bad enough, but to get the double whammy on the exit.
Elaine, very bad luck. A great week for you at Mount Panorama and the team.
Yeah, it's a shame because all week, I mean, we've been going really well, and the car was fantastic. The team worked really well, and that race really, I mean, Jason had a fantastic first stint, and then we could keep it up. Obviously, we lost time with the safety cars, but it was still looking good until the last stop where we lost quite a lot of time. So then I had to push really hard. But it's a shame because it was looking good for a win, and we had a new sponsor for this race, Meopati Indonesian Airlines, and it's you know, it's just a shame because everything was perfect until then.
So on lap 120, Brad Jones leads. Jeff Brabham, BMW, is second. Brad, of course, is in the Audi Quattro. Craig Baird from New Zealand is in third position in the second BMW. Jean-Francois Emeraude is in fourth place. And it really is starting to look a bit like Ursprung für Technik, as they say in the Audi advertising, which, unless I'm very much mistaken, means something like superiority through technicalities.
Well, here's Brad Jones in for a changeover, and nice timing, lap 120. They did 38 laps in the first section.
David Tapp.
Yes, a change of driver. Brad Jones out of the car after another fine stint. This car leading the way in the great race of 1997. Biela now in the machine. And, of course, this was the car that all expected to perform very well here this weekend. 1,070 kilograms because of its four-wheel drive. And it was going to go well, rain, hail or shine, wasn't it?
Well, into the driving seat goes the man who is generally regarded as being the best super touring driver currently in the world. Frank Biela, ex-world champion.
New leader, of course, now in the great race. And that the BMW of the two Brabhams. Jeff at the wheel at the moment. Second place, another BMW, Craig Baird at the wheel of that one. There is the Brabham car.
It's been circulating at a very steady 220 the whole time over this last section that he's been in the car. The track has got quite miserable. John Cleland said they'd been talking to a number of the drivers, and there's a lot of debris, there's a lot of oil on the track, and the 220 is just a nice lap at the moment.
40 laps to run in the great race as we see car 30 go off.
As in comes the lead car of Jeff Brabham, the BMW, because the two Audis have slipped down to third and fourth places with their fuel stops. And this is going to be the last stop, we think, for the Brabham car. And it's being topped up with oil, as was the Morris car earlier on. It's nip and tuck. They've both had to have a lot of oil put in.
They're throwing a lot of oil in these cars, Murray, quite unusual. But then again, they may be running a relatively low capacity.
Anything untoward going on down there, David Tapp?
No, not really. David Brabham now in the car, Jeff out. You made reference to the fact that they're putting more oil in the car. In fact, both of the Diet Coke BMWs over the past couple of hours in this race, the teams have been quite concerned about the amount of oil they're burning. So I'll leave that to an expert like Alan Moffat to try and ascertain why they'd be doing that.
Well, you might even call them the Diet Oil cars, Alan.
Well, they're going to need a bit. They don't want too much more of that. The only thing normally that oil starts getting chewed up is that the ring capacity, very light ring tension, and just getting a bit of blow by there. The main thing is that it isn't smoking out the tailpipe.
And it's a new drive shaft, I think, going into the Vauxhall Vectra.
Absolutely
Race leader then is Craig Baird in the BMW. He's on lap 125 out of 161. And in second place is Frank Biela, the multiple champion, although he's suffering from flu today, which won't help his performance at all, in the Audi Quattro. The gap between them is 32 seconds, but Biela is out there for the rest of the race unless they decide to bring the Quattro in for a splash and dash at the end, whereas Craig Baird is going to have to come in again and make another stop. And so it's very close indeed. 32 seconds between it. The second Audi Quattro is in third position. So we're looking at 3 German cars at the front of the race. If they stay where they are, the question is going to be in which order, and are Audi going to be first and second, or first and third, or will BMW make it? It's wide open. 4th position is the 2nd BMW of the 2 Brabham brothers. Up into 5th place has come the Volvo of Jim Richards and Rickard Rydell, ahead of the car number 8, which is the Jan Nilsson Cameron McLean car, the 2nd Volvo. So Volvo at the last knockings are coming good.
The BMW makes its way over the top of the mountain. Craig Baird at the wheel and still very much in control of the great race, but with a pit stop still to go, remember.
Now we're riding with Jim Richards back in the race in the Volvo. I must be honest and say I don't know whether it's Jim Richards or Rickard Rydell that is... it's Rickard Rydell who's driving the Volvo in 5th position, lap 131, and as we come through to complete another lap under the bridge into the left-hander at Murray's Corner, which is the one that's approaching now, 2nd gear, about 100 k's before they accelerate along the start and finish straight under the AMP banner up to Hell Corner, approaching that at some 180 kilometres, back off to about 100 k's, and then after Mountain Straight the climb begins. Race order, lap 131, Craig Baird BMW leads Frank Bieler at the present moment, and behind him Home Rule in the Audi Quattro. Brabham is in 4th place in the BMW. Rydell, that we're riding with, is in 5th place, and Nilsson in the 2nd Volvo is in 6th position. So Volvo are coming good, but it's the BMW at the moment.
Let's find out what the BMW strategy is. Team manager Lyle Williamson is with Paddy Welsh.
Lyle, I must say it's intriguing down here. The air guns were out. We've been watching car 2 for about 5 or 6 laps, and he's still out there. What's the tactics?
We're stretching it as long as we can while we're putting pressure on the Audis. We know they're slowed up, and we're picking them up at 2.5 a lap.
Now, there was talk of just an oil pressure problem, but obviously that's not affecting the performance of the car because it's still circulating in the 20s.
We are consuming oil at a greater rate than we would like, but it's not a pressure problem.
With Frank Bieler at the wheel, and as you heard, the gap is down to 47.5 seconds, with Craig Baird coming into the pit lane now. Now the excitement is really developing. This is the end of lap 142 out of 161, and I really am going to get the stopwatch on this because this pit stop is going to be critical.
While the clock's running, let's join Pat Welsh.
Well, Gary, this is the one they've been waiting for all afternoon. It's been a game of tactics. Bonnets up just to check on that oil problem that they've been fighting all afternoon. Now, we are putting tyres on to answer Alan's question. Yes, the tyres are going on. Just a top up of the fuel, but I can tell you that they still believe the 2nd car can win this race, the Brabham car. Now, this is a lightning fast stop. Out we go.
That was a
Morris is
ripper.
on board.
That was an absolutely sensational stop, 22 seconds. And as the BMW leaves the pit lane, here is Frank Bieler entering the finishing straight. Look there, he's going to take the lead. I think Frank Bieler is going to get through into the lead. And very close indeed. There is the Audi as the BMW comes out into lap 143. No, the BMW is still ahead. So BMW leads. Right up tight behind him is the Audi of Bieler. Right up tight behind him is Ormru's Audi. And David Brabham has got the gap down to the Audi in front of him to 4 seconds. It's going to be a barnstorming finish of the Bathurst 1000.
Well, here's the pressure. This guy can't make the slightest mistake. Now he's got new tires. He wants to just get them warmed up, scuffed in nicely, and definitely a worry with that red car right behind him.
Yeah, he's on the mountain now, and it's going to be very difficult to get past. I think the Vectra is ahead of him as they go over the crest. So there is the BMW, the Baird Morris BMW, and we're riding now. And where is the car ahead? There it is. You can just see it as we ride with Frank Bieler in 2nd place. First, second, third and fourth are within sight of each other on lap 143 out of 161, and they have all made their last stop. It's a drive to the finish now.
You've got a smile on your face, but it's masking a lot of tension. Now, you were supposed to jump in there, but you didn't want to.
We didn't have the time. We've had to do 5 stops because of the oil problems we've been having, and we had to top the car up with oil again then. And if we had it on the driver change, it just would have taken too long. Craig's doing the times, and he can do it from here.
And sure enough, the Vauxhall Vector is going to get to the mountain just about the same time as Craig Baird does. And Craig Baird, is he going to do a do or die and try and get through? Yeah, you said it, a kamikaze. Is he going to try and get through? Because if he doesn't, as sure as little apples, there, Frank Bieler is going to be on his boot lid. And if I had that Audi big in my mirrors, I would be a very worried man.
I can tell you for many years and many laps driving against him, Peter Brock is a tough customer, but he's not an unsporting driver. He knows the race is at stake with the cars coming behind him.
This the dice for third and fourth now.
And it's Wait, Brabham, and there's a shout of delight from the BMW pit because David Brabham has gone past. Oh, look at that! They're both out, both the Audi and David Brabham. They've obviously made contact.
Just as Brabham was sliding past, he'd made the passing manoeuvre, and then it all came unglued. The two of them are out at the cutting.
Fortunately, the second cars, I will say second cars only, but a terrible mistake there between the two drivers. Let's not pass judgment until we see the replay, but that hasn't taken Craig Baird away from the lead, and Frank Bieler will still be hounding him.
And up into third and fourth places, sensational comes the two Volvos of Rickard Rydell and Jan Nilsson. Up into fifth position comes Warren Luff. Up into sixth position comes Peter Brock.
And this will bring out the safety car.
Knew they had to do it. Couldn't resist it, had to. It's a dangerous situation in the BP cutting.
And let's just take a deep breath. We're on lap 100. We're on lap 146.
Here's how it happened on race cam. Past goes Brabham. I thought there might have been a touch there. Now, what happens from here? Brabham turns in.
Left-hander, all right, hasn't hit anything. And up come on the inside, the Audi has a dart into the inside.
There it is.
David didn't see him coming, and whammo. Fairly cheeky move there on the part of the Belgian, but don't believe David Brabham was expecting that.
Look, the BMW is going again. Debris trailing from the back of it. Francois Ormerul comes into the pits. No recrimination, it's just changed the wheels. Recrimination may not have been needed, actually. On go new tyres and wheels. Off comes the debris, the broken lens of the side lights. And we're on lap 146 with that safety car out.
And I guess after 6 hours of racing, which is what these guys have been through now, with just 14 laps to go, this kind of thing is always going to happen. I've got to tell you, this is going to put him at the back of the queue, and you know who else is at the back of the queue behind the pace car, don't you?
Yes.
Ormerul again. Pat Welsh.
Gary, yes, as quick as they possibly can. They've just torn the back bumper off. It's ripped off, and he's gone back out again. But that will be very costly. He apparently was black flagged, is the word that we had, and was forced to come in here to get rid of the debris off the back of the car.
The Bathurst 1000 is on again. Lap 149 coming up out of 161 as Craig Baird bursts up towards the mountain with Frank Bieler much closer to him than he has been, and that German is implacable. He's got the four-wheel drive Audi wrapped around him. The green flag says race go, and Craig Baird is the man who wants to stay in front, while Brabham and Ormerul are trying to get through the traffic and get those third and fourth places.
This is where Craig Baird has got to do it. He's really got to concentrate over the next 30 seconds to shake off Bieler. He's got a world champion driver behind him, and this is a real test of, not a baptism of fire, but a real test for him. This is hard yakka for a driver, knowing that he's carrying the pride of his company through to a Bathurst win.
And despite all the drama, Brabham and Ormerul, Brabham is up to third position, and they are only a matter of seconds behind.
Well, it looks to me as though Craig Baird is increasing the lead over Frank Bieler, who we are riding with now. We are very worried and tense Brad Jones hears me talking, smiles instead. Hiya, Brad. That's broken the tension for you, Sunshine. And now over the crest they go. And flying past the tail enders. That was Julian Bailey's car that Frank Bieler has just